What's your favorite superhero redesign? Probably not any of the looks we're looking at today. That's right, the first video got lots of engagement, so like it or not, here I am giving fashion advice to fictional characters. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we are taking a look at another Top 10 Worst Superhero Redesigns. Some are boring, and some make me want to wash my eyes out with bleach. Let's dive in. Number 10. Iron Man, but with a nose. In order to ease ourselves into the parade of awful, let's start out simple. The story of this redesign is pretty great. Apparently, Stan Lee was looking over artwork for an issue of Iron Man that had been drawn by a relatively new artist. When the artist drew Iron Man in profile, he had drawn Tony's eyes too close to the surface of the mask, which would mean that there was no room for his nose in the helmet. Stan pointed this out, saying something along the lines of, "Hey true believers, where's this cat's nose?" The editors misunderstood Stan's point and decided to start drawing Iron Man's mask with a nose on it. The in-story reason for this change was that Iron Man wanted his mask to be more expressive so that his enemies would be filled with terror, so he added a nose. Now, I don't know about you, but if a flying robot death machine being piloted by a drunken billionaire crashed through my wall, I would be terrified regardless of whether or not it had a nose. This change lasted a few issues before Stan Lee saw it and said something along the lines of, "Why does Iron Man have a nose? That looks stupid. Nuff said." So after that, Iron Man lost the weird Michael Jackson nose and went back to his regular look. Number 9. Casual Friday Superman. Another one that's not that bad is Superman's original New 52 look. After the DC universe was rebooted, Action Comics showed us some adventures from the early days of this version of the character. As a Superman who is still figuring out what kind of hero he is, this look makes a lot of sense. Instead of the tights and trunks, he wears blue jeans and a t-shirt with the Superman logo. I don't hate this look, but I do think the short red cape looks a bit out of place with such a casual look for the Man of Steel. It's a bit underwhelming for a character like Superman, but that is intentional as it helps build anticipation for the moment when he does eventually get his full New 52 costume, which is actually one of the character's better looks. Towards the end of the New 52 era, Superman returned to his more casual look after he had been weakened by using his new solar flare power, giving the whole thing a nice sense of symmetry. Overall, I like this look for the story purpose it serves, but from a pure aesthetic point of view, it's probably one of Superman's worst. Number 8. Booster Gold's armored suit. A lot of the entries on this list are going to be from that period in the 90s when almost every character who was known for wearing spandex was suddenly given bulky metal armor. So let's start things out with what they did to Booster Gold. Booster Gold's original look features various bits of tech that he stole from a museum that he worked at in the 25th century. This includes a force field belt that is able to repel contact from all known forces short of a nuclear blast. This is why he's able to get away with wearing a light spandex costume, or at least he was. When his usual supersuit was destroyed in the 90s, Booster was forced to wear this rather bulky and heavily armored version of his suit. As someone who really likes Booster's usual look, this is a rough one to look at. And from a technical standpoint, why would someone wear armor yet leave the top of their head completely exposed? Isn't that one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body? Number 7. The Wasp's crossing redesign. Janet Van Dyne has had a few looks over the years, from her classic red and black outfit to her more modern black and yellow suit, but this founding Avenger has one look that is not remembered very fondly, and that is the look she was given in The Crossing. In this story, Tony Stark was revealed to be evil and working for Kang the Conqueror. He came into conflict with the Avengers and in the ensuing battle hit Wasp with a repulsor ray. Hank Pym tried to save her by exposing her to the chemicals that had given her powers, but this resulted in her forming a cocoon. When she came out of the cocoon, she had grown wings and antennas, and her head and hair had taken on a truly bizarre shape. Not to mention the scary long fingers she had developed. This new look came with stronger powers, but thankfully she was reverted back to her human form 10 months later in the Heroes Reborn continuity shakeup. Number 6. Black Canary's 80s look. Black Canary is a difficult character to redesign. On the one hand, her original costume is iconic. On the other hand, it is a somewhat dated and sexualized look with all the leather, corsets, and fishnets. Over the years, the look has gone through a lot of variation, trying to keep the general essence of the character intact while still making the outfit practical for a superhero. Out of the character's many looks, however, most would probably agree that this 80s redesign is the furthest from the mark. The boots are a lot to take in, but the billowy top with the long puffed sleeves is pretty rough. The worst part of this look, however, is the bird emblem that's wings extend beyond her shoulders. This look is not remembered fondly, and when the character went back to her more classic look, they made a point of showing her burning this costume on the cover of Action Comics number 609. Number 5. Armored Captain America. In the 90s, we were treated to an arc in the comics where where after so many years of being a hero, the super soldier serum in Captain America's body was beginning to wear off and was causing him to lose control of his body. This culminated in him having a massive heart attack and becoming paralyzed and unable to move his body at all. Tony Stark came to his friend's aid and constructed this metal exosuit which not only allowed him to move, but also let him fly and shoot repulsor beams and anti-missile armaments. This armor allowed him to keep fighting but did not heal Cap's heart, which resulted in him needing to get a blood and bone transplant from Red Skull. Although this is a very purpose-built suit, it is a bit too bulky for the already large Captain America, and is just another example of the 90s trend of everyone getting elaborate armor suits. What pushes it over the edge is an admittedly minor detail: the one eye hole. I don't know why, but it really bugs me, and if there was something in between the two eyes like his usual mask, I probably wouldn't have ranked it so high. I know, it's dumb, but it just bugs me so much for some reason that I can't really explain. It's a good thing articulating my opinions online isn't my job, or I'd be in real trouble. Number 4. Biker Wonder Woman. When Wonder Woman's mother learned of a prophecy that told her Wonder Woman would soon die, she tried to trick fate by making someone else Wonder Woman. She held a new contest for the title, made sure that Diana lost and that another Amazon named Artemis won. She hoped that this would result in Artemis being the one to die and Diana being able to live on. Although she was no longer Wonder Woman, Diana still operated as a hero, creating a new costume for herself. She was given leather shorts and a leather bra with only the bracelets and the W on the belt line letting you know who she was. Although to be fair, they did sometimes let her wear a jacket. This is a trend that honestly really bugs me with female redesigns, where they are given new costumes that are really over-sexualized to a point that it isn't justified by the story. Yes, it makes sense that she would get a new costume after losing the Wonder Woman mantle, but the fact that it looks like that makes whatever story reasons they give meaningless, as in the end it was just about drawing her in a skimpy costume. Same goes for Sue Storm's 90s boob window costume that I talked about in part 1, by the way. In order to get my point across, let me give you an example. Remember when Spider-Man got the black suit and it started affecting his behavior? That was a great redesign, and the story that told it justified the change. Now imagine the same arc, but instead of the black suit, Peter is wearing a leather thong. It would make the story worse and would make me think that it was never about telling a good story. It was about drawing Spider-Man in a thong. Rant over, moving on. Number 3. Jim Gordon's robot Batsuit. When Bruce Wayne lost his memories of his cape and cowl days, longtime ally Jim Gordon was forced to take up the mantle for a bit. As he was unable to physically do all the things that Batman could, he was given a powerful robot mech suit in order to help him fight crime. It was several feet tall and featured a cloaking device, rocket boots, and a tear gas cannon, as well as quite a few other tricks. This is actually a pretty fun arc in the comics, but Jim actually sums up the problems with the suit pretty well when he first sees it, saying, "I look at that thing, but I just don't see Batman. It's like a bunny. Like a robot bat bunny." And he's right. The ears make it look like a rabbit, and it kind of throws the whole look off. However, the sleek black and yellow batsuit that Jim wears inside the suit is cool as hell. Number 2. Catwoman's armored suit. The last of the armored suits on this list is the suit that Catwoman wore for one issue in Catwoman Volume 2, Issue 50. When the villainous Cybercat decided to make it her mission in life to kill Selina Kyle, Catwoman was outmatched by the powerful Mech Cat. She went to her tech specialist, Clutterbuck, and asked him to design a new suit for her that would let her go toe-to-toe with her foe. The resulting armor suit had a retractable cable whip, giant sharp claws, night vision, and wrist-mounted missiles. As Catwoman puts it, it's not exactly her. As a character known for being sleek and prowling about, this suit is just not suited for the character. Catwoman hated the suit, only using it to defeat Cybercat and then immediately having Clutterbuck destroy it in a compactor. Number 1. Flashpoint Zatanna. When Barry Allen went back in time to try and save his mother's life and accidentally created the Flashpoint timeline, we were treated to a lot of great alternate versions of characters. Their version of Zatanna is not one of them. Look, I already made my feelings about overly sexualized redesigns clear in the Wonder Woman entry, so I'm not gonna beat a dead horse despite the fact that this outfit clearly falls into that category. Instead, I'm gonna talk about when redesigns miss the point of a character. Zatanna is a magic wielder and a stage magician. Therefore, all her good designs lean into this, so that even if you know nothing about the character, you can take one look at her and guess her deal. Oh, that lady dressed as a magician probably does magic. Now, looking at the Flashpoint version of the character, her look tells you nothing about her character other than she wears a lot of leather. The fact that it does nothing to indicate what the character is about is why I think it's one of the worst superhero redesigns. Any other really bad superhero redesigns that make your eyes bleed? Check out part 1 of this video and maybe you'll find them there. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.